Hello, welcome to the True Mark. Today, uh, talking about, I don't know, what do you feel? Complaining. I know, people in general, they complain about the neighbors, they complain about this, but even in churches, I was watching a thing I was telling you the other day, and people were complaining. It was
Oh,
another minister, and he was complaining about Kenneth Copeland or whatever, and it was on a TikTok, and I feel people should just mind their own business,
yeah, that's
like
true.
because I mean, especially in the religious world, everybody has their place in it, and if Kenneth Copeland's got a big following, so what? Let him keep doing what he's doing, because in reality, they say, well, God could tear down anybody and take anybody down, but I mean not by taking them down, but giving them the fruits to grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't want Kenneth Copeland doing something, believe me, he'll stop
Yeah, that's true.
him, and he'll stop anybody. They say that Kenneth Copeland says that God was the biggest loser. Well, at this time, maybe he was a loser because look at how many people fell down from him, like ain't following God or living by God's rules, or and God sent his son, and his son died on the cross, and
I don't think that
so
makes him a loser, though.
yeah. But I mean, like a loser means like
He lost.
he lost people, but I
Mm.
mean, it's a temporarily thing. Like I mean, it's a like I said the other day about the Old Testament to the New Testament, and then going on and on and on. There's a plan in place. There's a
Mm-hmm.
plan, and by God disconnecting to one person, sure, he does that too. But I mean, he'd rather turn a group into something to his benefit, right?
Yeah.
It's easier to change a group than it is to change one person. It could take just the same amount of energy to do one person than a whole group.
That's true because those people in that group will start talking and they'll all like understand at the same level.
Yeah, like I mean, especially if something there's the right topic or whatever God decides to do, you know, he'll do it when it's his time, not our time. So
Mm-hmm.
So Kenneth Copeland, keep doing what you're doing, because I mean, when God has His time, He'll have His time to do what He has to do. But if you keep growing a bunch of people, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that means everybody, the Pope, all religious, all their church going, even the ones that's got even 15 people. God has a place for them too.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's all in the timing. And like I said, the Old Testament, if there was in an Old Testament, Jesus wouldn't have been here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's after Jesus? You
Just.
know, myself, I find the keys to heaven on
Mm-hmm.
my way of thinking, and that's what I think the future is. A thing of the future, or else you can stay in the past, you can stay in that Old Testament, and move very very slowly like the little worm, but the worm will get there sooner or later.
That's true.
Or they call it
I
the
feel like it all depends on people's abilities. Like some people really enjoy reading, so like it's okay if they find it works for them.
yeah, like I mean,
It all depends on your
it's like
pace.
it's like the old folks home. What are you going to take them on a track and field meet, and they're going to be the
Yeah,
fastest
exactly.
runners? No, they're going to be a slow pace, but they'll go to the track and watch it and excitement, and
Mm-hmm.
still feel like they're flying down the road just as well as anybody else. You
That's
know,
true.
like just because they're old doesn't mean they're not capable of doing stuff like
Yeah,
spiritually,
exactly.
mentally, and maybe they were a track runner before.
Yeah, they just don't have like those exact skills anymore.
No, because age took
Mm-hmm.
them. So I like I said before, I still believe in the old to the new, and new future, and I believe God created. Jesus and that to show us the future. Like, do we want to dwell in the past?
No, that's true. Cause like you want to move forward.
Yeah, but I mean, we learn from the past. We
Mm-hmm.
learn from that Old Testament, and by learning, it takes you into the New Testament. But there is an aftermath of the New Testament. I believe 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And like he died on that cross, he gave everybody a chance to be forgiven. It doesn't matter what. Doesn't mean that we could use them and
Yeah.
abuse them and then go in and out.
No, exactly.
Like once you know it,
You
you
should
gotta live by it.
stick by
And that's where I say the keys to heaven keep you to stay in an order for him. And it's easy, one of the most easiest things you could do to
it. Yeah.
stay focused and to to grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe not to start cutting people down like other religious and stuff, because there's always a place for each one. Every individual has their place in life.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel like when you cut people down, it makes people not want to believe it all. So they're like, all these people are, oops, sorry, talking nonsense.
Yeah, like I mean, it's I remember one time this I was in jail and this minister came there and he gave me a Bible and I took it and I used to sit there and he used to pray, and stuff. That same minister, like I remember, I got right into it. That's when I was learning how to read and I was excited for God, and so I was doing it, and all. I remember floating in my cell, like I could float. I was floating, like I was so excited. It was a good energy feeling, and then I asked him one time. He came there and he says, "Do you think I could have the Holy Spirit?" And he says, "No." He said no. So then, what was I floating for? I was sitting there, and I was excited. I was really motivated, and that same guy that gave me that book took away
Yeah.
that energy from me that I really thought I had the Holy Spirit, and he hurt me as well as helped me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, so he helped you get connected to the book, but then he took
took it
down your
away.
beliefs.
He took it
Yeah.
away. So he did more damage because I mean, what happened was eventually I fell out of it. But I mean, I can't blame him. It was my course.
Yeah, that's true.
But
But if he said yeah or something, then he would have continued
he could
to
have said
believe.
maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
But he said absolutely not because I grew too fast with it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like when I used to go to the gym. I used to bodybuild, and there's friends that were on the steroids, and I never, like, I mean, I took them too at one time, but I mean, I got off them, and I used to say a little prayer to God and work out. And I remember that you have to shock your body constantly to growth. If you didn't shock it, you ain't growing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing
With
with
spiritually.
spiritual living. Like you gotta feed that spirit a view around, see things that it's going, and pick up on stuff that really trigger you. Like something triggers you, review it,
Yeah.
look it over. Because I mean that's the way God's trying to get your attention on something.
Yeah.
And I feel there's bullies all over. Like, I mean, they say schools have bullies, but I mean, church people are bullies too. Like
Yeah.
that same guy that's doing that to Kenneth Copeland, he's a bully.
Yeah,
And
because
yet he's
he's.
trying to be good and try to cut down somebody else. It's wrong.
And I feel like that's always happened with churches and stuff. They want to be the only ones that are right when there's a whole bunch of different ways that you could perceive it.
Yes, there's many churches out there and they all have their reasons and purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So grow with it. Flow with the rivers, man. Like keep going.
And just
Don't hurt the other person to try to knock him off his chair.
and if one church doesn't feel right for you, doesn't mean that you're not right for church. There's so many different people that believe in different ways. Like I remember when I was young, there was that one church that didn't feel right with me,
Yeah.
but that made me scared to believe in God and stuff. But then later on in my life, I found like you showed me this, and then it kind of like felt right. Like you can find the one that feels right to you.
Yeah, like it's more calming, more takes time. Maybe if you want to search through it, like as I remember you said you wanted to read the Bible, and I said, well, go ahead,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead. But I mean, just don't forget where you came from. Like I mean, you just get back on the right page. Stay focused.
Mm-hmm.
Stay connected. Because once you lose your connection, you lose everything. So
Mm-hmm.
I really believe in bullies are everywhere, and that means everywhere. All churches, all human race. Because
Because there's always people that don't want you to succeed, though. So there's.
or the ones that did succeed in some, they get punished for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's foolish. And the biggest thing is we all have to grow up. Like I mean, it's we're all learning. Everybody's
Yeah.
learning, and
It's all our first time living in the world, too. You have to look at it like that. Like, no matter
yeah,
your age.
God has His purpose, man. That's all I know. They say God, He can knock down the biggest guy. Wow, and not talking about one guy. He's talking about a big group, and that's not knocking them down. It's opening their eyes from
Yeah,
blindness,
exactly.
taking them out of blindness, and so that group is still a good thing. So when their eyes become open and their hearts become soft, that's God's connection.
Yeah.
But why work on just one person when He could have millions, right?
Sometimes I feel like he does just work on one person because it can make a group to grow into a bigger amount.
Yeah,
Like if he knows what you're capable of, then he'll like how he woke you up. You didn't have a group with you, but he knew that he could help you create this like through him.
yeah. Like it was a long journey, though. It was
But
like
he
in
knew what you were capable
2012
of.
when that world was supposed to end. Like I mean, it ended for me. But I mean, I didn't even know I was living through the new world. Like even then, to July 7th and 14th to 21st, when I realized in 2024 here,
That's what I
I
remember.
ended my journey. But did I really end it? Like, I mean, I became more aware of what I lived in that 12 years or whatever. What's this world is about and what my life was about. So it was a wake up call. And in the new world, I'm living in it now. And it's kind of hits back and forth because I mean it's a growing thing too. But I want to
Mm-hmm.
be in the spiritual, stronger and spiritually and then physical.
Yeah,
But you
me
still
too.
need both.
Yeah.
You still got the physical body, and you got to try to nurture it. Feed it better, live better, be healthy, and spiritual too. So
Mm-hmm.
I find it reading John 1 to 21 the way it is feeds my spirit. And by feeding my spirit is the main thing. And if I choose to read anywhere else, I will. But I mean, the world is a learning place for me to learn, like by watching,
Exactly.
experiencing, and seeing other people like what they have to offer. All them churches out there, all them big ministers and stuff, they all have their purpose. But even the little ones have their purpose too. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I mean, it's even with this, there's coming and going because I mean I still got my life ahead of before this, like the houses, real estate, business. Got to keep doing it, right? So I don't know. Like I mean, it's keep watching, keep learning.
Yeah, I feel like that's what life's mainly about is observing and just listening, because
Yeah,
that's how
like
you'll learn.
yeah, for sure. And don't keep your eyes closed. Look at everything. Look at all the surroundings.
Yeah, don't be blind to the world.
Or even blind to yourself.
Yeah.
Like whatever is going on. Like in the book of John, it states in there, like Jesus says, you could go to the Father yourself. Like once you know where you're at, and you could ask Him, but use it in His name. And if you're true to yourself, He'll grant it to you. But the biggest thing is, like the granting could mean you got to really look at what you're asking for because He'll give it to you how you ask.
Yeah.
you know. So like it's a learning thing, and not even prayer, even all this stuff that you're growing with God. You got to really pay attention to it, because He'll give it to you, like I said, how you ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like I just wanted to bring that up with this, with the ministries out there. Like they pick on everybody and anybody, and I just feel like everybody should mind their own business and just continue with what you're doing with life, and what you
And
could
what you
bring
believe in.
into, yeah, and what you believe in, and what you could bring to bring people closer to God, and what He has planned for you,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The next time.